What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Legacy Wednesday, and today we are looking over a speed Darkrai deck. And I personally think this is probably one, if not the best deck in Legacy right now. I know Celebi, Virizion, Genesect is one of those top contenders. He's either like Celebi, Virizion, Genesect, or Darkrai is the best deck. And I think Darkrai is probably the answer right now because it has like more answers to a lot more decks than VG does. Like if VG loses to some decks, well, Darkrai can beat those decks, and we'll find out later in this, in the series, what actually beats these decks. I know we've only covered basically 3 decks so far, but as we keep going, you'll see more decks come out, and we'll see some cool decks that can easily beat VG, that can't really beat Darkrai, and Darkrai can actually beat his counters, which is really, really nice. And that's why I do love this deck a lot. So if you don't know Darkrai-EX, first of all, look at this. Oh, I can finally click this. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Pokemon. Alright, but Darkrai, Night Spirit, 90 and 30 to a bench Pokemon, and Dark Cloak. All your Pokemon have free retreat. They have a Dark Energy attached to it, which is really, have no Trick Call, sorry, which is really, really nice. And what we're going to try to do is get a turn 1 Night Spirit. Might seem crazy. 2 dark and a color seems like a lot, but it is very, very possible. So we play 3 Darkrai's, alright? We play 1 Smeargle with the portrait. We've seen this multiple times. You can see your opponent's hand. Oh, I think we've only seen it episode 1, actually. Episode 2, we didn't show it off. But you can look at your opponent's hand, pick a card in there, and if you see a supporter card in your opponent's hand, you can use it, and you don't use your supporter card for the turn. So you can basically play 2 supporter cards in 1 turn with Smeargle, which is nice. The deck plays 2 Absol, Mind Jack, does 20 more damage, does 20 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So if your opponent puts 5 Pokemon on the bench, that's 120 damage with Absol, with the Dark Claw 140, with the Virbank Laser 170. Becomes really nice numbers with Absol, which I like a lot. And this one Absol Prime, I want to give a shout out to Andrew Wamble. And also, down below will be a link to his introduction to Legacy format. It's a really, really good article that covers a lot of different things about Legacy, and he actually is the one who made the suggestion with Absol Prime. As long as Absol is your act Pokemon, whenever your opponent puts a basic Pokemon from his or her hand onto their bench, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon, and it has the attack Vicious Claw. It does 70. Choose one Pokemon from your hand and put it into the Lost Zone. If you can't put a Pokemon into the Lost Zone, this attack does nothing. If you don't know what the Lost Zone is, don't worry about it right now. We're going to try to cover some decks that focus just on the Lost Zone, like Mew and Gengar. I'm just trying to work on getting Mew and Gengars right now. They are hard to get, and hopefully I can get them eventually. Alright, so we got the Absol, we got Absol, Smeargle, Darkrai. Keldeo with the rush in ability. You can rush in, retreat with a Float Stone and or Dark Energy. Really, really good effect. Then you can use Dark Patch and other stuff. Get rid of poison with, if you're poisoned, you can get rid of that. Rush and retreat. Really, really nice. I love this card a lot in the deck. And then the deck plays 1 Spiritomb, which is Virizion Genesect's enemy. Spiritomb has the ability Sealing Scream. Each player can't play an A-Spec from their hand, which means your opponent cannot play G-Booster, which is the biggest thing with Virizion Genesect. Genesect can constantly do G-Booster over and over again for 200, for 200, for 200. But Spiritomb says, no, you're not going to be able to play your G-Booster, which is really, really nice. So this is how you're actually going to counter the Virizion Genesect, which I do think is really, really cool. Now, your lasers can't work because Virizion has that Verdant Wind, saying they can't be affected by special conditions. But that's okay. I think them not being able to use their G-Booster is a really, really big thing. So that's all the Pokemon in the deck. Alright, so for Bicycle, draw, you have 4 cards in your hand. 1 Computer Search, discard 2 cards from your hand. Search for any card in your deck, put it into your hand. So just consistency stuff. 4 Dark Patch, put a Dark Energy from your discard pile to 1 of your bench Pokemon. And this is how we're going to power Darkrai in 1 turn. We got some Dark Patches, we got some Dark Patches of Dark Energy. 2 Dual Ball. Flip 2 coins for each head, search deck for a base Pokemon, put it to your hand. And we also do play 2 Ultra Ball, so that way you can get full use of Bike. I'm actually considering cutting all the Dual Balls for Ultra Balls, so that way Bike can draw 2 quicker. You're supposed to get the turn 1 Darkrai, and that's what we're going for with this deck. 1 Escape Rope, 4 Lasers, which is a really, really good card. You flip a coin if heads. Your opponent is asleep, tails, they're not asleep, but they're automatically poisoned, so they get plus 10. 4 Junk Arm, we know this lets you discard 2 cards from your hand, and you get to reuse any trainer card. So now you have Dark Patches, now you have Junk Arm to reuse Dark Patches and Lasers. Really, really nice. 1 Tool Scrapper, discard 2 tools in play on your opponent's side or your side, whatever you choose. 3 in, 3 Juniper, and 3 Oak. I guess we're going 3-3-3 right now. We're going to try it out, see if it works. 2 Virbank. You're poised to do 2 more damage counters between turns. So now they're hitting for 30 a turn, which is very nice. 3 Dark Claw, which is probably, man, this card was so cool when it first came out. You're like, oh, Dark gets this amazing tool card, but now Muscle Band exists, and you know, Dark Claw is not that used anymore. But if this card is attached to Dark Pokemon, each of the attacks this Pokemon does, the Dex does 20 more damage. So Dark Pokemon do 20 more damage with Dark Claw, which is amazing. I love this card when it came out, and then Muscle Band kind of ruined it. But hey, Dark Claw making an appearance in the Legacy, which I do like a lot. 2 Float Stone to give your Keldeo-EX for your treat, and 12 Dark Energy. So the whole point of the deck is to get the turn 1 Night Spear, which does 90 plus a Laser Virbank 140 and wait 9, 10, 11. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. I don't know what I'm thinking. I get ahead of myself. So 9 with the Virbank with the Dark Claw, bring it up to 110 with the Virbank Laser 140. So there you go. So you do 140 and 30, and now if your opponent switches and they keep that Pokemon active, it'll get knocked out through poison, going back into your turn. The only thing I really miss about this deck is catcher. You could play the other catcher, making it where you flip a coin of heads, bring a Pokemon off the bench. But as a flip card, I wish Legacy played the old catcher format. I know that probably seems really broken. I used to say catcher, you just bring a Pokemon off the bench. And it was fair because everybody had catchers and everybody had junk arms. So I kind of wish that existed, but it doesn't. At least Escape Rope can kind of guarantee that, because you can do, you know, the 140-30, your opponent can like rush in, retreat, whatever, set up the Pokemon that's 140 HP. But then you can use Escape Rope, and you can make your opponent switch out their active, and then maybe take that double knockout or something, which is really, really neat still. And so it's a really, really good deck. I love this deck a lot. There's so many damage output. Absol is good if your opponent fills their bench up. This Absol is good if you can start with it. Smeargle is to help you get that turn 1 supporter card. Maybe use it twice to help you out if you don't have a supporter card. Keldeo to stand in retreats. Spiritomb to help out against Virizion and Genesect. And I think this is a great deck overall. I do love this deck overall. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and let's see the deck in action. Alright, pretty good. Christian G playing a water and a dragon deck, and they do have the advantage alrighty. So will my opponent win the game, or will we have the upset or not? We'll call heads like always, and we lost the coin flip, which could be good, could be bad. It's going to depend on how crazy of a turn 1 we have, and let's see what is our opponent playing. Alright, so we got Absol, we got a Darkrai. I think I'm going to start with the Absol. We have the capability of getting the turn 1 Night Spear off, put down the Darkrai, and let's see what my opponent is playing. There's 2 Pokemon, 3 Pokemon coming down, and let's see, what is it? There is a Squirtle, and a Black Kyurem. So it is a Blastoise deck, and a turn 1 in for my opponents. Now, in the new format, we're so used to Blastoise being Archies, but this one is actually going to be an evolution kind of deck. We get an Ultra Ball, get to see a Keldeo, Love Ball, another Squirtle coming down. So 3 Squirtles coming down, Keldeo, Black Kyurem. This is going to be Absol, a good attacker. On to our turn. Let's see, what can we get into? Okay, so we got an Ultra Ball. We can discard a Dark and a N, and I think I'm just going to go for a Keldeo. I think that'd be fine. We could maybe go for a Smeargle, but I think going for the Keldeo right now, trying to get the Float Stone onto it would be great. Put the Keldeo down. Dark Patch, going to put a Dark Energy on to this Darkrai. And I'm just going to Oak, shuffle our hand into deck, and draw 6 new cards. And let's see, what can we get into? Alright, so we get the Float Stone, which is great. Put it on this guy. We get a Dark Energy attachment. We could go for a Laser and Bike for 2. And maybe try to hit that Smeargle. So let's do that. Let's play a Laser. And it puts 1 in our discard pile as well, so we can use Junk Arm. We'll Bike for 2, and let's see, what do we get? We get an Escape Rope, which is pretty much useless, a Dark Claw. So I think I'm just going to pass with this, with the Absol in the active spot. My opponent stays asleep, but they have the Keldeo. They can just rush and retreat. And will my opponent have a turn 2 Rare Candy Blastoise? Now, these Squirtles do have this cool ability, Shell Shield, which prevent when they're on the bench, they can't be hurt by damage from Pokemon's attacks. So Night Spear does not do 30. There's course going to give my opponent 6 new cards. Alrighty. We don't play that many. We didn't put that many bench Pokemon down, so my opponent only gets 6. But let's see, what else do they have? Do they have this rare candy Blastoise or not? That's the question. There's a Douse machine. Go and discard 2 cards and get any card from their discard pile. Looks like they're going to get a Love Ball and maybe get a War Turtle. I think that's what we're going to see come out, and that way they can just kind of guaranteed the Blastoise the following turn. Even if they whip the rare candy, they can just manually evolve into the Blastoise. And wow, nope, their War Turtle is prized. There's a Bicycle drawn 2. Alright, maybe they don't play War Turtle, Bicycle drawn 1, okay. Water Energy to Black Kyurem, and a pass from my opponent. Alright, and it does wake up. Alright, on to our turn. We get a Juniper, okay. I think what I'm going to do is just play it in. I'm going to save the Dark Claw. I'm going to save everything else. They're pretty much needed. And all we need is an energy attachment. Alright, so we got an energy. We got an Ultra Ball, which is great for the next turn. If they do knock out a Darkrai, we could respond with a new Darkrai. So Dark Energy that guy. We will rush in. And I'm going to put the 30 damage on this Black Kyurem. Just kind of make it a little bit easier for us to knock out. So put that guy up. Do a Night Spear. Let's see. Does Night Spear even matter? Let's see. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It actually doesn't knock it out. So we're going to put the 30 damage onto Keldeo. I know that seems kind of weird. They could tackle Black Kyurem. But I think putting on the Keldeo to prepare for a knockout is the better play. Dark Claw. My opponent can knock us out this turn if they have a rare candy Blastoise. And the question is, how will we retaliate? There's a Tool Scrapper going to discard the Float Stone off the Keldeo. I wonder if they play Junk Arms. It's a really good question. There's another Black Kyurem. Okay, the 130 HP Black Kyurem come down. Okay. There's a course. Once again, only getting 7. Oh, 6. Sorry, 6. I said 7 earlier, but only 6. Okay. And let's see. There's a rush in. It looks like they actually whiffed it. And they leave this Keldeo in the active spot. We actually can knock it out this turn. A Lightning Edge goes to Black Kyurem. And a pass onto our turn. So we can get this opportunity to knock out our opponent. We're going to put the Dark Claw in the active. We're going to Ultra Ball, discard a Dark, and an Escape Rope. And with this, I think I'm going to get another Darkrai. Trying to power it up. We could go for another Smeargle, but we're going to go for a Darkrai. Okay. Put down the Darkrai, put a Dark Patch onto that Darkrai, and we're going to Bike for 3. Can we hit a Laser, Virbank, or not? That's the question. So Dark Energy on that guy. Bike for 3. And, okay, we get a Tool Scrapper. Not really that useful. We could play Juniper. I'm just going to play it in, trying to conserve our resources. We only get 5, but can we hit a Virbank and a Laser? Alright, so we get a Junk Arm, we get a Spiritomb. So I'm going to put down the Smeargle. I'm going to Junk Arm, discard a Dark and a Spiritomb. We're going to go for another Bicycle, and we do have the Laser in our hand, so let's go. Where's the Bicycle? We don't have any Bicycles in our discard pile. Oh, no, there's one right here. What am I talking about? Ooh, what we could do. No, we don't need Escape Rope. We need a Bicycle. Sorry, yeah, we need the Bicycle. So we're going to Bicycle, play the Laser. Let's see if he's asleep or not. Tails, okay. Bike 4-4. Can we hit the Virbank or not? Okay, so I'm just going to Night Spear. Yeah, we're going to put 30 on this guy. If he can't retreat the Keldeo, we can maybe take a knockout. Either way, we can hit it for a knockout the following turn. So 140. Poison. We did miss the Virbank, but I don't want to Junk Arm for another Bicycle right now. I don't know what our top deck. So there's a Float Stone to the Keldeo. I'm going to retreat into the Black Kyurem, and they probably have an energy to knock us out. There we go. Alright. But next turn we can't take, we can't knock out this guy. It's too much HP, 150, 20, 40, 60, 80. Unless he puts down another Pokemon, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Yes, we can take a knockout now. Okay. So another Keldeo coming down, and we can take a knockout on this Black Kyurem. Alright, so 150 damage, or 200 damage coming down. Sorry. And so 1 Junk Arm, 2 Dark Patch. Okay. I like our odds. So let's hit a Darkrai. We can free treat you, Absol. Right now, Absol's doing 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. There's a Dual Ball, but I think I'm just going to discard it. We're going to Junk Arm, discard. Let's say 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Man, okay, hold on a second. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. So all we need is a Laser. So yeah, I'm going to discard these two. I think getting the energy attachment is probably the better play. Going to grab a Bike. Alright, so grab a Bicycle. We'll Dark Energy this guy. We'll Bike for 4. Alright, so we get another Dark Patch. We get a Float Stone. I'm going to Float Stone the Keldeo. We will Dark Claw. Oh, okay, hold on. So if we do 140 with a laser. So if we whip the Virbank, I think this might be the better play. Dark Patch, Dark Energy onto this guy. And we're going to Juniper, looking for a laser and a Virbank. Okay. Alright, so we got a computer search. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. So computer search, discard, Absol, and the... let's discard the Tool Scrapper. That seems okay. Yeah, I'll discard those two. Gonna get a laser. There's one left in the deck. One Junk Arm, one Dark Patch, another Absol. So you're gonna grab the laser. We'll play the lasers. This should be a knockout. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. Yep, that should be a knockout. We will retreat into the Absol, and hopefully it didn't mess anything up. Mind Jack. 140, then plus poison will knock it out. Alright, so there we go. Ticket to knockout, Tails, and there goes Black Kyurem. We will go down to 3 prize cards. Now, if we can somehow knock out a non-EX and this Keldeo, we should be able to win the game. So Keldeo comes up, the one with 150 HP, or 150 damage on it. There's a Float Stone going to the other Keldeo, okay. There's an energy retrieval, going to put 2 basic energy cards from the discard pile into their hand. There's a lightning and a water. Alrighty, a lightning going to this guy. How many lasers have we played? 3 so far, okay. And a pass onto our turn, okay. So my opponent sends a Keldeo. Have we played our Escape Rope or not? Okay, we have 2 Junk Arms. I'll put a Dark Energy on the Darkrai. We are going to Professor Oak. Let's play the Dual Ball first, just get out of our deck. 1 and 2, alright. We'll grab an Absol, just to get out of our deck, like I said. So grab the Absol, put that down, and we're going to grab the Professor Oak. Yeah, we'll play Professor Oak. And let's see what's going to happen. Alright, so we get a laser Virbank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Virbank, laser, trying to put my opponent's Keldeo to sleep. And can we keep it asleep or not? Nope, Tails, okay. I think I'm just gonna rush in, and I think I'm just gonna use Night Spear. Yeah, that seems okay. We'll rush in, use Night Spear. We could have just retreated. I don't know why I did that. So do that. Put 30 damage on this Keldeo. Okay, gonna put up to 140. No, we don't have a Dark Claw. Oh man, we don't have the Dark Claw. Whoops. All right, Darkrai and a Junk Arm. All right, so 30 damage from poison. So 120 onto our opponent's turn. We can still knock out this Black Kyurem next turn. This is a color, so we get 7 new cards. Can our opponent get a Rare Candy, Black Kyurem, Blastoise in their hand? My opponent has yet to play a Blastoise down, and they ever see a victory screen. My opponent probably doesn't have anything, and he sends it this Black Kyurem. We have double Junk Arm to grab I guess a Dark Claw, a laser to knock it out if he does do that. If he sends up a Keldeo, we can put double pressure on both these guys. Maybe load up the other Absol. We'll pretty much be good to go. So there's game 1 with the Darkrai, Absol, Keldeo. We really did see Smeargle show off, but if you give me a second, we'll see one more game with the Darkrai deck, and we'll see if can we get into the victory with it or not. Sadly, my opponent did not have a good time, and that's kind of the bad thing with Blastoise. You know, it's kind of clunky. You can hit the Rare Candy Blastoise, and you can continue using Black Blister. 200 damage, but this game my opponent could not. But give me a second, we'll see another game with this Darkrai deck. Hold on, I think we got a mystery gold prize, unless I'm crazy. Alright, we didn't get one. But give me a second, we'll see one more game with the deck here in a second. Alright, playing against D-Jai's playing some kind of lightning, fire, some deck. It looks like it's going to be a Flareon deck, I imagine. I could be crazy. We lost the coin flip, so we'll be going second. And let's see, can we handle the Flareon deck or not? I think that's what it is. Don't quote me on that, but we get a mulligan. Get a full house right there, alright? So, there we go. Alright, so Charizard sleeves, Pikachu deck box. They did have the advantage. They're going to see they were playing a dark deck. I mean, it's pretty easily, going to be easy known. So, another mulligan for my opponent. Great. So, +2 draw for them. Alright, cool. +3 draw for my opponent. Alright, so we start Absol, which is not, you know, it's not the worst starter. It could be better, but I mean, Absol's good. We could use the Pokebody Eye of Disaster to start putting pressure on the field. Oh, that could be really good. We can Ultra Ball, get a Darkrai out if we want to do that. Let's see if they choose their Pokemon. So one Pokemon comes down. There's a Keldeo and a Tynamo. So it is going to be This is actually going to be really good. He's going to put down the Pokemon Collector and put 20 damage on his Electrics and his Tynamo. So we could maybe snipe off his Tynamos turn 1 if we can get a lucky Darkrai, Rayquaza, Tynamo, and a Tynamo. Alright. So like I said, we can take a knockout on a Tynamo. And there's 20 damage going to that guy. 20 damage going to that guy. 20 damage onto the Rayquaza. So I guess Absol turn 1 is being great. Alright, so another Rayquaza coming down. My opponent getting 3 Tynamos, Keldeo, Float Stone, Rayquaza. My opponent's having a really good start. Can't complain at all. I mean, he can't complain. Like, that's a really good start. But can we get a turn 1 Darkrai or not? That is going to be the question. If we do, we might be able to put enough pressure on my opponent to win the game. There's a Rayquaza coming up. They've already played their supporter card. We do sadly have an in, and on our turn, we get a Dark Energy. Okay, so I'm going to Ultra Ball. Let's see. He has 150, so 10 damage short from knocking out this turn. I'm going to put a Dark and a Dark in the discard pile. Put both of those in the discard pile. We're going to grab a Darkrai. There's the one Darkrai, another Darkrai. Is Escape Rope in the deck? That is my question. There's Escape Rope. What about Tool Scrapper? Computer Search. Okay, Tool Scrapper could be very useful. So we'll press done. Get in that Darkrai. Putting the Darkrai down. Putting the Dark Patch onto the Darkrai. Gonna play the Dark Claw, and we're gonna use and both players shuffle their hand into the deck and get 6 cards. And there's another Dark Patch, Laser, Escape Rope. So we have the turn 1. Who will my opponent send up is the question. So Dark Patch, going to put it on the Darkrai. We are going to Escape Rope. And let's see who he decides to send up. Who is going to take a hit? Oh man, this could be really good for us if we get lucky. So Keldeo will come up. Alright, so Dark Energy. And I'm going to go for the Virbank Laser. Man, we can maybe knock out this Keldeo if it stays asleep. So come on, Intels. Alright, that's... Alright, but we're going to use Night Spear. 90, and we'll put 30 onto... doesn't really matter. We'll put on this Tynamo. Okay. So 90, 110, 30, taking a knockout. My opponent can't knock us out next turn. He didn't attach an energy. There's a Professor Oak. Thank you, Professor Oak, coming to clutch. And 140 to that Keldeo. So now we can snipe it for, you know, the knockout, which is very good. There's a Electric coming down. So now we can't snipe that one for knockouts. There's another Electric coming down. So double Eels coming down turn 2, which is great for my opponent. But he does need another Electric to knock us out this turn. Right now, double Electric will only do 120. Dragon Burst does 6, discard all basic fire or lightning energy attached to his Pokemon. This tag does 60 damage times the number of energy cards you discarded. As you see, these Electrics are kind of like Bronzong. You attach a lightning energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. There's another Tynamo coming down. Alrighty, and sadly, it's not the other 30 HP one. If it was a 30 HP one, we could knock out both. There's a Jirachi coming down. We're going to see a Stellar Guidance. And now my opponent's bench is full, which is not the greatest thing for them. There's a Juniper. They're going to discard their hand, draw 7 new cards. And they better hope they play 2 Keldeos, because if they don't, once this Keldeo gets knocked out, they don't really have another one unless they play Super Rod. There's an Energy Search. Going to search for a Lightning Energy, okay. Maybe he already has a Fire Energy in his hand. It does need a Fire and a Lightning. So an Ultra Ball, discarding a Lightning and a Lightning. Could get another Eel for next turn. If we don't have an in, it will stick, basically. Or, okay, no, an Electros. Ooh, that could make things interesting. We're going to keep it in his hand. Not going to shut off yet. A Fire Energy to that guy, okay. There's a Dynamotor number 1. Going to put a Lightning Energy from his hand onto that Rayquaza, okay. And we'll see another Dynamotor. I mean, he has the option. Yep, going to see another Dynamotor. And what we can do is put pressure on this Rayquaza and try to get another Darkrai setup. That could be really good. And will he attack with this Darkrai? He's got to retreat. And yeah, he's going to retreat to this Rayquaza. We can't knock it out right now. But we can knock out this Keldeo, and do heavy damage to this Rayquaza. And there's a Dragon Burst. Only going to do 120 damage. He will be 60 short, so 120, discarding both those Fire Energies, and a pass onto our turn. Alright, so we get a Dark Energy. I'm just going to save it, trying to get in the Darkrai. So Professor Oak's new theory. So we get a Darkrai, so double Darkrai. Do we have a Dark Energy in the discard pile? We don't, okay. We could go for a Laser. I don't know if I want to waste a Junk Armor on a Laser. So I'm actually just going to Night Spear, doing 90, let's see, 110, bring it up to... 140? No, that's not right. 130. So we might need a laser. Yeah, let's go for the laser so we can just snipe it. I still believe in us, so we'll junk arm those two. Get in the laser. I think this is the better option. And if we can get a we could have made for the escape rope. We just would have been at the Keldeo. So yeah, we're gonna go for the laser. Put damage on this Rayquaza. Maybe let's stay asleep. Tails, never mind. Bike for 4. Let's see what we can draw into. There's a dark bike. Okay, so dark energy on this guy. We will bike for 2, and we need a bike before we take too many prize cards. So we're gonna Night Spear. We have a pretty much a turn 2 for sure. So Night Spear doing 110, 30, knocking out the Keldeo. Put 130, and we'll have 10 damage left. But if my opponent attacks with one of these Pokemon, we can win the game next turn. So 130, bring it up to 160. Onto our opponent's turn. Let's see what's going to happen. We could just Night Spear, knocking out the Electros if he decides to attack with that. If he attacks with another Rayquaza, that's going to be a different story. We don't win automatically, but we still put a lot of pressure on our opponent for sure. So another Electric coming down. And will we see that Electros come in a line, or will my opponent save his Electrics for another Rayquaza? That is the question. He could send it there, that Rayquaza. There's a Dynamotor. Let's see where this lightning energy goes. Will it go into an electric or not? And it is. Yes, so he is going to go for this Electros play. Alright, so Electros has 140 HP, which we can knock it out. Crash and Burn. Discard as many energy cards attached to your Pokemon as you like. This attack does 30 damage times the number of energy cards you discarded. Silver Core is going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Question is, can we win this turn or not? We have a really good chance. There's a Keldeo coming down. All right. I mean, he's just gonna use his Electros for sure. I think he might not. He might descend the. I don't know. We'll see what my opponent decides to do. There's a couple of options, but if he wants to take a knockout, he needs to attack with his Electros. That's definitely the best play. He can Float Stone Retreat. Send up the Electros, that way he can save the fire energy, but we're just going to Night Spear and knock it out. We pretty much are going to get it unless we whiff some cards, but with Junk Arm, a Bike, and Computer Search, if we whiff it, I would be highly upset. How many lasers have we played? We played 1 laser, 2 Dark Patch, 1 Junk Arm. We should be able to get the knockout this turn. We're just waiting for D-Jice to make a decision. So we might have back-to-back upsets in this game. So there's a rush in, okay. And is that, oh man, is that gonna be it? Oh man, let's see what my opponent decides to do. What will my opponent do? Does he have a switch? He could Dynamotor switch. Let's wait for it. So let's see what my opponent, and never see a Victor Screen. So my opponent probably didn't have the win. I mean, we had Junk Arm. What it's going to do is Junk Arm, discard 2 Dark for a Dark Patch, Dark Energy onto that the Darkrai, have it ready to go. Bike for 4, trying to hit, a Float Stone or a Laser. We pretty much would have hit it, do heavy damage to his Keldeo, knock out the Rayquaza, and pretty much be good to go. If we would have sent it to somebody else, all we needed was a Dark Claw and a Laser, but we've only played, remember, I think it was just one Junk Arm and 1 Laser, if I remember correctly. So we would have took a knockout on the Slurp Shakedown. I think, no, whatever that Electros was, but we would have took the win regardless. So there is Darkrai. You can see why the deck is such a strong deck. Darkrai is so fast. You got Dark Patches, you got Bicycle, Junk Arms, Laser, Virbank, Dark Claws. Everything is, it's really good. I think it's one of the best, if not the best decks in the format. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Alrighty, bye.